Hello everyone. This video walks through completing Packet Tracer Assignment 9.2.3.3, configuring an ACL on VTY lines. This is a part of the Routing and Switching Essentials Network Academy curriculum for Cisco. Now, VTY is basically just another name for Telnet. So we're actually going to configure so allow the Telnet protocol to work for us to be able to remotely log in. Okay, so it basically in this lab assignment we've got a router, a switch, a PC, and a laptop. First, they have you verify that Telnet access can work before we configure the ACL. So it asks you to get on both computers and do a telnet to the router. Now the router's IP address is what we need for this, 10.0.0.254. So let's say we go to the PC. And in a real PC, you would go open the command prompt. I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, and we would type, and again, this is going from the PC to the router. We would type telnet 10.0.0.254, hit enter, and you see it ask us to verify our account. So we do Cisco, hit enter, and now we can go throughout, well, it doesn't have anything else set, but you could go throughout the router, configure it, and so on if it was set up, right? Let's try the same thing on the laptop. Click on the command prompt. So we're going to do telnet 10.0.0.254. Again, that's just the, and again, that no password set up there, but it's just, again, telnetting into the IP address for the router. Okay, so it works for both though. It allows it to get there. It would tell you if it didn't, it would not open right here the connection and ask you for a password. Remember, the passwords in your directions is Cisco. Okay. Now, in the directions, though, it tells us it wants us to configure a numbered ACL on the router. Okay, remember the ACL, the standard numbered ACL, can be ranged from number 1 through 99. Hopefully, you had a chance to do the first lab assignment for this chapter, which went through a couple of standard number ACLs. But remember also, the only argument that it accepts is where is it coming from. Okay, so here we're going to do an access list on the router. All right, so we do enable configuration mode, and we're going to do access list. 99 is the number that lets it know that it's a standard one, and we're going to do permit. Okay, so we're going to permit traffic. And remember I said you can do, if you do a question mark, it'll tell you, you can do a whole network, or you can do a single host, or you could type the keyword any. That would allow anything. We've done that in our last lab as well. So we're going to do access list 99 permit, and we're going to permit a single host. So you literally type the word host and then the IP address to that host, not the network. Remember, the network address kind of is like the summary of that whole network. So like 192.168.10.0, and then the subnet mask would tell it how far does that span from .0 to what, right? Here we're going to just do one IP address, so only coming from 10.0.0.1. Okay, so right now, before we did that, both the PC and the laptop both have access to telnet into the router. We want it so only one device, which is the PC's IP address, can telnet to the router. We do not want the laptop to be able to telnet to the router. Now here, this is the only thing we need to type. We do not need to type a deny statement to deny access for the laptop to the router's telnet, because remember there is, and again, do not type this, warning, don't type this, there's nothing needed here. At the bottom, there is a deny any. Okay, that is already there. It's always at the bottom. We don't need to type that so it doesn't go in order. That is at the very bottom of our list regardless of what we do. Okay, can't take that out of there. So it's going to read it in order. It's going to permit that one only, and then it's going to have a deny anything else below it. Okay, so that's all we really need to type here. But we also need to go apply this access list. Now, before in our last lab, we applied it to an interface. That was great. We saw it going in or out of the interface with the command IP access group. This, we're actually going to see how do we apply that, that standard ACL to the telnet interface. Okay, so remember when we configured it before, we did like line VTY04, we would do like password, set up a password, you know, type login so it would use it, so we could actually telnet to something. That's already been set up. What we want to do is do access class 99N. This basically sets up so that the access list that we're using here, and I know it's a little bit different of a command, but it's only specific to like telnet or console stuff. We're having it set up to where that PC can permit access to PC1 for basically the access list 99 going in the N direction because it's coming into the VTY. Okay, so that's all we need to do there, and it has been permitted, okay, and applied correctly. So we should have, if you look, 100 out of 100 on our lab assignment.